guys, what's up? It's Winnie here. I'm back today with another first impression review for you guys. Today I'm going to be trying out the new IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Compact. And if you remember, IT Cosmetics actually came out with a moisturizer called Confidence in a Cream. And I did talk about that product in one of my favorites videos and I used it a lot. I think it was around the holidays when they launched it, but my skin was super dry, so I really liked that moisturizer. And that's also why I'm really interested in trying this foundation, because it essentially has the same skincare benefits as the Confidence in a Cream. So let me just tell you really quickly what this foundation claims. IT Cosmetics says this is one of the first ever solid serum foundations. And again, going back to the fact that this has a ton of skincare benefits in it, it says it's a skin transforming full coverage solid super serum product. And I'm reading off of the website, but in this are anti-aging hydrolyzed collagen, hyaluronic acid, squalene, antioxidants, and super ceramide cream. It's made for all skin types and for people who do have more sensitive skin, which I do. And this has a ton of anti-aging properties in it. And this also has an SPF of 50 in it, which is pretty high. I don't think I've ever used a foundation with more than maybe 30. So let's open this up and see what the packaging looks like. It comes in a really nice little compact like this. So you pop open the compact and there is a little sponge applicator on top, and underneath that you lift up the tray and then there is a little seal covering the foundation. So I'm just going to peel that off. And you get 0.63 ounces of the product in the compact. I actually really like the look of the compact, but let's go ahead and apply the product to my face. And you guys already know the drill. I have just a light layer of moisturizer on. I don't have any other face makeup on. And by the way, I'm using the shade Light today, which I think is a better match because the next shade up is medium and I feel like that might be a little bit too dark for me. But right up close, you guys can see I have pretty dark under eyes. I have a little blemish right here on the side of my nose. And other than that, I feel like just the typical discoloration around my face, a little bit of redness on my forehead. My skin has been pretty well behaved. So right off the bat, I can tell that there is a scent to this product. It's kind of like a citrusy, maybe lemon scent to it. And it looks like it's kind of a thicker cream consistency. I'm just gonna dip the sponge into this. It looks pretty thick and I'm not really sure how to apply this. I think I might just dab it all over and then smooth it out, but let me see. So actually the instructions do say that you can use this Heavenly skin smoothing complexion brush to apply the product, or the sponge that it comes with. So I'm going to do one side of my face with the applicator that it came with and the other side with the Heavenly skin brush. So I have the product on the sponge and I'm just going to press it onto my skin. I'm trying to tap the product on all over my skin and then go in and blend it out. Okay, so this is one really light layer of the foundation on the side of my face. I can see that it's kind of evened out my skin tone, but it really hasn't covered up. It's not full coverage just yet, but you can tell on the opposite side with no makeup on, there is definitely a difference. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more and see if we can get it to a full coverage. I feel like I'm trying to pick up a lot from the sponge, but there's not that much product when you go in to apply it. So maybe it's just absorbing to the applicator. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a better result when I push the applicator on my skin because it deposits more of the product that's on the applicator. I feel like that kind of works well because this product isn't super creamy. It's a little bit thicker and you kind of have to work with it to blend it out. But once you do blend it out, I feel like it looks really nice on the skin. And now I'm starting to see that full coverage from the product. You can definitely see my bare skin compared to this side with the foundation. And if you look really up close, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but it's kind of minimized the look of my pores around my nose, which I really like. And I think I'm actually happy with the 2 layers on this side of my face. I feel like it's really evened out my skin tone and I like the way it looks. So I'll do the same with the 2 layers on this side with the brush. But the one thing I will say is it has left my skin a little tacky feeling, and that could be again because it is a very hydrating kind of foundation. So I'll give it a moment to kind of set on my skin, and in the meantime I'm gonna do this side of my face with the brush. Look how beautiful this brush is. So it says to swirl the brush in the product, and I'm just gonna dab it onto my skin first. I haven't used a brush to apply my foundation in such a long time. I've been using my beauty blender forever now. Okay, so the brush applies and blends the product out really nicely, and I feel like you are applying a little bit more of the product using the brush because it's not getting soaked into the sponge, because this is just one layer on this side of my face using the brush, and I feel like it's a little bit more coverage than when I first used it with the applicator. But I did do 2 layers. I'm going to go in with a little bit more product and apply a second layer. Okay, so this is 2 layers now, and again, I think the coverage is really nice. It's exactly how I want it to look. I don't want any more than this because I don't want it to look too heavy, but I'm honestly not sure which tool I liked applying it with more, because I feel like with the sponge applicator, I could press the product and melt it into my skin a little bit better than I could with the brush, even though I feel like you don't need as much product when you're applying with the brush, and it does blend in really nicely. I just feel like I'm used to using like sponges like this to apply my makeup, whereas this side I feel like you can still see the product is sitting on top of my skin. It's gonna take it a moment to kind of sink in and set. So I don't really know, but I feel like both sides look really nice, and the foundation itself looks really great right now. I can see that it does have a little bit of a dewy finish to it. The other thing I want to keep an eye on is if the foundation is going to oxidize on my skin at all, because it does have a pretty high SPF. So I'm gonna speed this part up and finish up the rest of my makeup, and we'll see how everything looks in the end. Alright guys, so it's been about 10 minutes. I've finished up the rest of my makeup, and my skin still feels pretty tacky. And I did notice that when I was applying my contour and my blush, because it made it really splotchy and difficult to blend out. So I just tried my best to work with it, but it does feel pretty tacky, and I'm not sure if that's going to go away. But I do feel like that dewy finish has kind of set onto my skin. It's not as glowy or dewy looking as it was before. And I didn't set my face with anything. I just set my under eyes because I don't want the concealer to move. And like I said, I'm gonna see if the foundation changes or oxidizes on my skin at all, but it's supposed to be like 90 degrees outside over here in Texas. It's like summertime already over here, but I'm gonna be outside for a little bit. We'll see how everything holds up. Alright guys, so I am back, and I totally forgot to say what time it was when I first applied the foundation, but it was around 3 p.m. and it is now 7 p.m. So I've had it on for about 4 hours now, and I wanted to check in to give you guys some of my thoughts on the product so far. And I haven't touched up my makeup or changed anything besides my lipstick. It was just kind of wearing off from eating and stuff, so I just put a little bit more of that on, but otherwise I have left everything alone. And you guys know I did not set this foundation anywhere on my face besides right underneath my eyes for the concealer. And from a distance and what I can see off of the viewfinder, I feel like my makeup still looks really nice, and nothing has really changed all that much from when I first applied it. I'm pretty happy with how it looks and how the makeup looks on top of the foundation. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so that you guys can get a better look up close. Now I'm looking really up close in my little compact mirror, and I feel like the makeup really does look exactly the same. It looks almost perfect, and usually I'll see some creasing around my nose and just right here in this area, but I'm not seeing that happening with this foundation at all. I feel like it still looks really well covered. And like I said, I've had this on for about 4 hours now, and typically my T-zone right in the center of my forehead will get a little bit shiny because I do get a little oily there. It might be like a tiny bit shiny, but I have seen the center of my forehead get really shiny with a lot of other foundations, especially after 4 hours of wear and no setting powder whatsoever. And also the feel of the foundation is still a little bit tacky to the touch. It's definitely not as sticky as when I first applied it, but I feel like this just doesn't really set and dry on your skin. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And when I first applied my makeup on top of the foundation, it was just a little bit hard to work with because of that tacky feel. But I definitely feel like that is something setting powder would fix really easily. I did not set this foundation just because I want to see how it wears and how it looks just on its own. But overall, I really like the look of the foundation. I think the coverage is really nice. It's definitely buildable to be a very full coverage foundation. And the actual consistency consistency of the product is a little bit thicker and creamier, so I think that's also why it's holding up so well. But I really liked using the little applicator that it came with to kind of press and blend it into my skin. And if you do have the brush and you're just used to using a brush like this to apply your foundation, it still blends out really nicely. I just think that if you have the applicator, this works just fine. And I do have dry combo skin, and I feel like sometimes foundations that have a heavier coverage that are a little bit thicker can look really cakey and emphasize the dryness on my skin, which I do not see with this foundation whatsoever. I feel like my skin still looks like my skin, but it gave me really nice coverage and I don't see any dryness on my skin whatsoever. So I'm really happy with the way my skin looks. I will definitely keep using it, and next time I'm going to set the foundation before I apply the other powder makeup on top of it, and that way I can see if it still goes on a little bit splotchy, but I think that's going to solve the issue. Otherwise, I think that the foundation looks great on the skin. It does not make me look oily, even though it keeps my skin looking really hydrated. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first impression review for the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Compact. If you have tried this, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and also let me know what other products you want me to try out next. And if you like first impression reviews, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know that you guys want to see more of them. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure you do and hit that bell down below so that you get notified every time I upload. And you can find my links down below for my Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!